Final piece tonight. We at THI have often focused on things that pertains to us, the I portion of us. That in the past has relied on not taking personal responsibility. And it's also comfortable to point fingers away, but too few pointed back at themselves, and a life of personal choices was cunningly snatched away for the convenience of no blame attached. Because if you don't take personal responsibility, someone will always do it for you. In particular, the government and the elites. And the governments these days are a cop-out for weak, childlike people to not take responsibility for their own lives and of others. Let the government fix it, they cry, wail and rage at the latest incumbent. Yet no one asks, why don't you fix it? And out come the plethora of excuses, the little me programme, I'm too old, too infirm, disabled, etc. And you don't need me to tell you that has not worked well for us. Because the reason why governments are unaccountable and not serving the people and other complaints is us. Yes, us, plain and simple. And we have a bizarre scenario now where families are turning on each other to defend a government whose levels of incompetence are at epic levels. And does anyone ask why, for example, my sister would believe a TV screen and a set of animate caricatures in a box she has never met and find them more viable and believable than her own brother? But it's not just me though, is it? It's all of us who listen to this show and many others. And the sheer banality of it beggars belief. But it happens on a daily basis. The reason why the countries are in a mess is us. Because we have not taken enough personal responsibility. Because we have not cared enough, not supported each other enough, not cooperated with each other enough, and allowed the few with rampant egos to dictate our lives, our thinking, our actions, and now our liberties. That has to stop. The TPC blueprint is the way to cure all the ills of not only this country, but the world. It is the antithesis of the clown-operated world with showroom dummy-like people who all follow the dark, death, harvesting and sacrifice script. And at which point do people not see that? Why don't they see that is the great question. The reason being is their world is filled with lies and illusion, and they are too weak to step away from it. Why did Kissinger say what he said earlier? Because he can. Because we allowed it and them to do so by riding roughshod over our lives. But enough is enough. I'm seeing many people now fighting back against lockdowns, jabs, and the easier issue against masks. And finally, we begin to see the masses arising from their slumber. But it's typical of humanity and their ability to react too late. And life for far too many is reactive, not proactive. THI members will not be surprised at the current old world antics. We warned of it many years back, and many of you now see, not just with your eyes, but your whole being. Some members this week commented to me that THI is the only valid show left that reports things as they are. I warned 5 years ago most of the alt media was corrupted. It still is, and in essence it is done for. Filled with compliant agency people who have been leveraged against for past crimes or just bought off with shekels and titles, and you all know the names. And whilst I take pride in what I've done with THI, great pride seeing so many of you seeing and the important part changing your own lives for the better, the latter is the main legacy of THI, not the show content per se. And the main difference of THI and other shows is we focused on fixing us, not just pointing fingers away. That is the main difference. Do I take delight that people say I'm the only show worth listening to? No, I find it sad, tremendously sad, and also damning that people after this long in the alt media who say they are awake are deluding themselves on a mass scale. Chasing saviour programmes, Marvel characters, ET groups, 5D and New Age programmes, more technology and more lack of personal responsibility, that somehow these people they follow are all going to fix their lives for them. Well, guess what? They're not. They never have, and they never will. Because if that was the truth, there would be an endless list of names of the past who came and saved the people. Where is the evidence of such benevolent traits, be it in the past or the now? There was but a few in the past, but did the people protect them? No, they never. And the answer was always us. You, me, and us. We are responsible for the world's ills. Not just the cabal, the Illuminati, the elites, Black Sun, CIA. Why? Because despite being the majority in the terms of numbers, we allowed the few to prosper at our expense. How many other shows will tell you that truth? None. Why? Because they're too self-serving, egotistical, fantasists and delusional. It's the old world mentality. And the cure is the TPC and some hard work done by yourself. And that is it. There's no ifs, there's no buts, just the cold hard facts of real reality, not illusion. Personal responsibility for your own life, thoughts, healing, fixing and actions. And some will ask, how can that be done? My answer is, look around your fellow members. They did it, and so can you. The ability to critical think has been lost on their world, which is why nothing works anymore, as I forecasted back on January the 1st, 2013. So if nothing works anymore, why are the people fighting to make the system work? A lack of personal responsibility is why, and why so many are asking for normal to return. Normal. Well's the Fargo to that. We have all heard the atrocities, the lies, the death, the darkness, the sacrifice and the greed of the old world. Why, in the name of Satan's portion, would you wish to go back to that? A child-level world racked with bitterness, envy, hate, harvesting and division, all low vibrational aspects that served to keep us in the loop and the astral harvesting system. Well, fuck normal. New or otherwise. There is nothing normal about it, and the object is to create a new. That creating, which is a key component to our species, has to learn to flourish again, not inclusive of the old world and all its failings. The old world is gone. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Our task is to build a new one, not maudling over the failed old one. Our task is to create a new world based in our image of true values in life, truth, honour and integrity. We can avoid the past thinking by replacing it with future thinking. Future thinking brings in the manifestability, because that is sowing the seeds for you and our future. Future thinking brings up fears, traumas and shadow and inner work. The fear is the key component of why many people, mainly outside of our group, won't entertain it. And yet, curiously, fear is a future-based word. It is a predictive programming mindset created by your own fears. Can you exist on fear? Existing is not living, so why keep that premise? A fear is just a reminder that you have not done future thinking and manifest enough. Future thinking erases fear, which then alters your future in your way, not theirs. It changes your path, it alters the algorithms, it puts you together with higher thinking, like-minded. Removes you away from the pack whose role it is to keep you thinking in the past, and subsequently the false loop cycle. Do you like your current path? Who can change your current path? If you're thinking someone outside of you, you're wrong. The answer is you. If your fear having done that is, I feel lonely, there is not many of us. The answer to that is, you have you. You have the group and you have the universe to engage with. How can you feel lonely? What you are just experiencing is the pullback from the illusion of having everybody around you. But what if those around you weren't real to begin with? Where were those people when you were going through your own personal growth stage? Did they help you? Did they support or encourage you? The answer is and was an emphatic no. So the conclusion is they were never your people to begin with. They were just a filler in the pie that just did not taste good or nourish you. Convincing yourself otherwise is pure folly. People come into your life for a reason or a season, determining which is your learning curve. The lifetime section in your life is also statistically an illusion. It is as rare as common sense nowadays. You can't replace internal love with external. You can't fix external without the internal fix. You won't see an external change until you deal with and promote internal change. And you can't heal external of you if you haven't healed the internal of you. As you battle yourself with holding on to connections of the old world, remember the old world served no one. The old world created the fears, the traumas, the pains, the frustrations, the shadows, and a loss of love, spirituality, perspective, common sense, you, and creativity for us all. Why would you want to hold on to that? The new world and new way is for the loving, the creativity spirit, freedom and joy. The key to finding that world and state of being is you. And all it takes is for you to let the old world go and create a new by future thinking, deeper pondering, and a desire to be the change. I'm asking you all to go and visit your own personal video and your chain to the old earth and let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Then recognize the pattern as it will repeat on other levels.